By now, we all know what Frostpunk is all about. Well, if you don't, what are you doing here? Stop this video and go play Frostpunk first. But the deal there of the story is that in the 19th century, alternative history, the world has been taken over by a volcanic winter storm, and in response, humanity have built these giant generators to keep their cities running. But as temperatures kept dropping, many of these generators started to fail and people started to die by millions. You assume the role of the captain of New London, the last city on Earth, and it is your duty to guide people to safety, keep them warm, happy, and make sure you build enough resources and infrastructure to survive the massive blizzard that is about to hit. Now, of course, there are other modes too, like the Arcs, the Last Autumn, the Refugee scenario, but the new home is the main scenario of the game. Now, what was great about Frostpunk was that the game really forces you to care about people. Every decision that you make, every technology that you unlock, every law that you impose on your citizens has a significant impact on how your city is going to function. And of course, the incredible visuals, beautiful soundtrack, and heart-pounding tension that builds up when you play the game just makes Frostpunk one of the best survival strategy games out there. Not too long ago, 11-bit studios have announced Frostpunk 2, and it is a direct sequel to Frostpunk set in at 30 years from the event of the first game. While Frostpunk focuses on coal and steam in order to generate power to keep their generators up and running, looks like we are moving away from coal and jumping into the era of that sweet oil. So what can we expect from Frostpunk 2? Well, for starters, I personally am expecting to see a larger story compared to Frostpunk. While the main campaign of Frostpunk was incredible and the DLCs did provide some additional scenarios, that's what they were just scenarios, and it left me wanting more, and it felt a bit on the shorter side. Of course, 11-bit studios were a much smaller company back when the game was released, and they did not have enough resources to work on the project, or the scope of the project was just small. But now, according to Looper.com, in an interview with Jacob Sokolsky, the co-director of Frostpunk, more than 70 people are working on the game, and that's great news. So we can definitely expect to see some bigger story arc in Frostpunk 2. Or at least I hope so. What I hope to see different this time around is different forms of governments, different kinds of people, much greater emphasis on the structure of society, and complex relationships with other colonies. The external and internal politics that you as a player have to face in order to keep your city running. Obviously, one of the aspects is going to be convincing your city to convert to oil power from coal and steam. And that in itself raises a lot of complex issues, what we would have to be facing, and I hope they are truly fleshed out. Perhaps this time around maybe move away from being the captain of one city. Maybe being a mayor of multiple cities would be a great change. In the previous game, while it was great to help our city up and running, once you figured out the formula, it got pretty repetitive and easy, honestly. I hope this time around we get a lot more control and more control over multiple cities. Having multiple cities would give us the choice to choose between which cities survive and which cities don't in order to fulfill the larger picture of the arc. Hopefully this time around they will force us to question our morality. Sure, the first game did make us think twice before we make our decisions. It never really breaks us down, at least me. It never really truly made me question my decisions that I made. This time around, I hope it breaks me. I hope to see some severe consequences to my actions and moral decisions. Now, obviously I can go on and on to say what we need to have in Frostpunk 2 or what we can expect in Frostpunk 2, but honestly, Frostpunk was such a great experience, and I can say this with full confidence that 11-bit studios will do justice to Frostpunk 2. I think they understand what makes a great survival strategy game, and they will take us on a wild ride with Frostpunk 2. If you have not played Frostpunk yet, I highly recommend playing the game. The game is frequently on sale. Now, you don't need to play Frostpunk 1 in order to play Frostpunk 2, but Frostpunk 1 is definitely one of a kind of experience that you need to have, and I highly recommend it. Let me know in the comment section down below, how do you enjoy Frostpunk and what do you expect to see in Frostpunk 2? And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.